So, you're thinking about getting an axolotl. Welcome to the club! These incredible creatures are taking the internet by storm. It's easy to see why. An axolotl, often called the Mexican walking fish, isn't actually a fish. It's a type of salamander with a special superpower. It stays in its larval form its entire life. This is called neoteny. They keep feathery external gills and a finned tail, looking like a real-life water dragon. They have a perpetually smiling face. Quirky amphibians captured the hearts of so many, especially Gen Z. Their rise is deeply connected to online culture. You've probably seen them on TikTok, Instagram, or as a mob in Minecraft. Their cute look makes them social media stars. People share videos of axolotls gliding through tanks, feeding, gulping down a worm, or just chilling with that signature smile. That exposure turned them mainstream. They're quiet, fascinating, and kind of zen, perfect for low-key companions. But beyond the viral fame, they're truly special. Axolotls are critically endangered in the wild, found only in a few lakes near Mexico City, like Lake Xochimilco. That reality inspired conservation-minded owners. Proper captive care contributes to knowledge and appreciation. Owning one becomes being a guardian for a struggling species. That sense of purpose appeals to eco-conscious Gen Z. This guide is your ultimate starting point to becoming an amazing axolotl parent. We'll walk you through every step. The first exciting step on your journey is choosing your very own axolotl. It can be tempting to just pick the first cute one you see, but taking a moment to observe their health is super important for a long and happy life together. When you're at the pet store, breeder, or rescue, look for an axolotl that is active and responsive. It might be floating calmly or walking along the bottom, but it should react if another axolotl bumps into it. A healthy axolotl will have a nice, plump body, not too skinny and not overly bloated. Its body should be about as wide as its head. Next, pay close attention to their amazing external gills. Those fluffy, feathery branches are how axolotls breathe. The gills on a healthy axolotl should be long, full, and vibrant. They shouldn't look curled, shrunken, or fuzzy with any sort of white, cotton-like growth. This can be a sign of fungal infection or poor water quality. The skin should also look smooth and clear. Avoid any axolotls with red patches, sores, or any visible injuries on their skin, tail, or legs. A healthy axolotl has a pristine and almost cartoonish appearance, so anything out of the ordinary is worth noting. Another key indicator of health is the axolotl's tail. The tail should be straight and free of any curling at the tip. A curled tail tip is often a sign of stress, which could be caused by poor water conditions, high temperatures, or illness. Also, check their little feet and toes. Axolotls are amazing because they can regenerate their limbs, but it's best to start with one that has all its toes and limbs intact. Sometimes, young axolotls kept in crowded conditions might nip at each other, so missing toes can be a sign of a stressful early environment. Look for a complete and happy-looking little creature. Finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. A responsible breeder or a knowledgeable pet store employee should be happy to tell you about the axolotl's history. Ask what it has been eating, how old it is, and what its current water parameters are. Knowing these details can make the transition to its new home much smoother for your pet. Choosing a healthy axolotl from a reputable source sets you both up for success. It's the first and most crucial decision you'll make as an axolotl parent, so take your time and choose wisely. Now for the fun part, setting up your axolotl's new home. This is your chance to create a safe, beautiful environment where your pet can thrive. The first rule of axolotl housing: bigger is always better. Minimum for one adult, a 20-gallon long aquarium. Long tanks are better than tall ones because axolotls are bottom dwellers. If you're thinking of a pair, get at least a 40-gallon tank. You'll need a filter. This is non-negotiable. Axolotls are messy eaters and produce a lot of waste. Ammonia builds up and it's toxic. But they come from still, calm waters and hate strong currents. Best solution? A sponge filter. Or use a hang-on back filter with adjustable flow. Tip: you can baffle a strong outflow by placing a sponge underneath it or place a decoration under the outflow to disperse the current. The goal is gentle, effective filtration. Clean water without a water park ride for your pet. Lighting is another important consideration. Axolotls do not have eyelids. Bright lights stress them and can damage their sensitive eyes. They prefer dim, ambient lighting. Natural room light is usually enough. Just avoid direct sunlight that can heat the water. If you want a light, choose a low-wattage LED and only use it for short periods. Provide plenty of shady spots with hides and plants so they can escape the light. Lastly, every axolotl needs a place to hide. Provide at least 2 hides per axolotl. Terracotta pots turned on their side. Plug any drainage holes. PVC pipes make great hides. Store-bought aquarium caves are another option. Make sure decorations have smooth edges and no small holes where your axolotl could get stuck. Hides give them security, a place to rest, and shade from light. Creating this safe, calm, and spacious environment is the foundation of good axolotl care. Choosing what to put on the bottom of your axolotl's tank, known as the substrate, is one of the most critical decisions you will make. This is because axolotls have a funny habit of swallowing things while they eat, and the wrong substrate can be deadly. The number one rule is to never, ever use gravel pebbles, small rocks. An axolotl can easily swallow a piece of gravel thinking it's food. This can lead to impaction, which is a blockage in their digestive system that is almost always fatal without costly veterinary surgery. This is the most common and preventable mistake new owners make. So, what are the safe options? The safest and easiest choice, especially for beginners, is to have a bare bottom tank. With no substrate, there is zero risk of impaction, and cleaning is incredibly simple. You can easily spot and siphon up any waste or leftover food. While some people think a bare bottom looks sterile, you can make it look great by adding smooth, large rocks, much bigger than the axolotl's head, slate tiles. A bare bottom tank is practical, safe, and highly recommended for any axolotl under 6 inches long. If you really want that classic aquarium look, very fine sand is the only other recommended option for adult axolotls. The key word here is fine. The sand particles must be small enough that if your axolotl accidentally swallows some, it can pass through its digestive system without causing a blockage. Play sand, properly rinsed. Aquarium sand with grain size. 1 mm. It's crucial to wait until your axolotl is at least 6 inches long before introducing sand. Younger, smaller axolotls are at a higher risk of impaction even with fine sand. To prepare sand for your tank, you need to rinse it thoroughly. Put the sand in a bucket and run water through it, stirring it around until the water runs clear. This removes dust and debris that would otherwise cloud your tank. When adding it to the aquarium, you can gently pour it in or use a PVC pipe to guide it to the bottom to avoid a huge mess. Whether you choose a bare bottom, slate tiles, or fine sand, making the right substrate choice is a massive step towards ensuring your axolotl's long-term health and safety. If there is one secret to keeping a healthy axolotl, it is pristine water. This means, managing the temperature and the chemical balance of the water at all times. First, let's talk about temperature. Axolotls are cold water creatures. The ideal temperature range for their tank is between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 to 20 degrees Celsius. Temperatures above 72 degrees Fahrenheit or 22 degrees Celsius are very stressful and can quickly lead to fungal infections and, unfortunately, death. This is often the biggest challenge for owners. You will need a reliable aquarium thermometer to monitor the temperature daily. In most homes, this means you will need a way to cool the tank, not heat it. To keep the water cool, you can use a few different methods. The most effective but also most expensive option is an aquarium chiller. For a more budget-friendly approach, you can use a clip-on aquarium fan. Pointing a fan across the surface of the water increases evaporation, which has a significant cooling effect. In a pinch during a heat wave, you can float frozen water bottles in the tank. Just make sure the caps are on tight. Maintaining this cool temperature is absolutely vital for your axolotl's well-being and is a non-negotiable part of their care. Beyond temperature, you need to understand the nitrogen cycle. Before you even bring your axolotl home, your tank needs to be cycled. This is a process that establishes a colony of beneficial bacteria that converts toxic ammonia from waste into less harmful nitrates. This can take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. You'll need an API freshwater master test kit to monitor the levels of ammonia nitrite and nitrate. A cycled tank will have 0 parts per million ammonia, 0 parts per million nitrite, and some level of nitrates, ideally under 20 parts per million. Rushing this process is a recipe for disaster, as putting an axolotl in an uncycled tank will cause chemical burns and illness. Once your tank is cycled and your axolotl is home, regular water changes are key to keeping those parameters stable. You should perform a 25% water change at least once a week. Use a gravel vacuum or siphon to remove water and clean waste from the bottom of the tank. The new water you add must be treated with a water conditioner, like Sechem Prime, to remove chlorine and chloramine, which are harmful to amphibians. Feeding your axolotl is honestly one of the most fun and interactive parts of owning one. As carnivores, they require a diet rich in protein. Best staples for adults: earthworms, Night crawlers, red wigglers. Night crawlers are nutritionally complete, perfect food. You can buy night crawlers from bait shops or start your own worm farm. Cut worms into bite-sized pieces when feeding, especially for younger axolotls. Red wigglers are a good option, but some axolotls find them bitter. Rinsing helps. In addition to worms, offer other foods to keep diet interesting. High-quality sinking carnivore pellets like salmon pellets are a great choice. Use pellets as a staple or as a supplement. Pellets are packed with nutrients and easy to store. Occasional treats. Frozen, then thawed bloodworms. Brine shrimp. Treats are like junk food, not the main diet. Avoid live feeder fish. They can carry diseases and parasites. A varied diet of worms and pellets equals a happy, well-fed pet. Feeding frequency depends on age. Young axolotls have fast metabolisms, feed once a day. Adults around a year old slow down metabolically, feed every 2 to 3 days. Rule of thumb, 1 large night crawler or equivalent per feeding. Overfeeding leads to obesity and health issues. Stick to a schedule. If they refuse food, they might just be full. At feeding time, use long tongs or tweezers to offer food directly. This prevents food getting lost and fouling the water. It's also a great way to bond. Keeping your axolotl's tank clean is just as important as feeding them a proper diet. A consistent cleaning schedule is the secret to stable water quality and a healthy pet. The most important weekly task is the water change. You should aim to change about 1/4 of the tank's water every week. To do this, you'll use a siphon or a gravel vacuum. This tool removes water and acts like a vacuum for the tank floor. Sucks up axolotl waste, leftover food, other debris. This process is crucial for removing nitrates from the nitrogen cycle. When you're siphoning, be gentle and mindful of your axolotl. They are generally slow-moving, but you definitely don't want to startle them. You can temporarily move them to a small tub of clean, dechlorinated tank water. Many people find it less stressful to simply clean around them. If you have a sand substrate, hover the siphon just above the sand to lift the waste without sucking up too much sand. For a bare-bottom tank, the process is even easier. A clean tank bottom is a sign of a healthy environment. Be thorough in your poop scooping duties. After you've removed about 1/4 of the old water, it's time to add fresh, clean water. The water you add back into the tank must be treated with a water conditioner. We can't stress this enough. Tap water contains chlorine. One of the golden rules of axolotl ownership is to handle them as little as possible. Axolotls have extremely delicate, porous skin and a fragile slime coat that protects them from infection. The oils on human hands can damage this protective layer, and the salts on human hands can do the same. That can make them vulnerable to bacterial infections or to fungal infections. Their skeletons are made mostly of cartilage and are very fragile. They are pets to be admired through the glass, not to be held or cuddled. Their aquatic world is their safe space. There will be times you need to move them, like a deep clean or moving them to a temporary tub for medical reasons. Never grab them with your hands. The best and safest way to move an axolotl is to use 2 nets. Gently guide your axolotl into 1 net, then place a 2nd net over the top to prevent them from jumping out. Transfer them quickly and calmly to their destination. This avoids touching their delicate skin and minimizes stress for your little friend. Being a good axolotl owner means spotting signs of common health problems. Bringing an axolotl into your life is more than just getting a new pet. It's like adopting a tiny, smiling water dragon. It brings a sense of calm and wonder to your room. The journey, setting up the perfect tank, cycling it patiently, introducing your new friend, incredibly rewarding. Watching them explore their new home, glide through the water, flash their signature smile, pure joy. They may not be a pet you can cuddle, but the connection is unique and special. You learn their habits, their favorite hiding spots, how they get excited when you bring food. Caring for such a unique creature teaches you a lot. You become a mini scientist, water chemistry, the nitrogen cycle, and their specific biology. That knowledge connects you to the natural world. Providing a calm, lake-like home for a critically endangered species gives you purpose. You're not just an owner, you're a steward helping keep the species' legacy alive. The axolotl community is a huge part of the fun. Forums, social media groups, online communities, passionate owners ready to help. Share a weird behavior question or a cute yawn photo. You'll find support. This shared passion creates belonging and makes ownership more enjoyable. You're part of a global club of axolotl lovers. In the end, your effort is returned tenfold in peace and fascination. They are a living piece of art.